Can I help you with something? Oh, you were the one who called earlier. Yes, hi, nice to meet you. We spoke on the phone. Yes, that's me. I'm Cloud. Please do take a seat. How are you doing today? Good? I'm sorry, but I don't think I've seen you in here before. Is this your first time with us? It is. Yes, I have a good eye for these things. We usually have quite a reliable roster of clients, so it's honestly rather rare to see someone new here unless they're little kids or something like that. Yes, I do have the book that you were asking for. I found it in our stock. It's this one, right? Ken Liu, author of The Grace of Kings, The Paper Menagerie, and Other Stories. It's quite a unique book. There's been quite a few people buying this recently. That's why it must have shown up online as out of stock. Sometimes we limit online sales and instead keep some in the bookstore because that's just our policy. So is this all you're looking for? Oh, I see. So this is for a book club that you're considering joining? Oh, well, I myself admittedly have never read this book before, but I've always been very intrigued by the very minimalistic cover. It's very beautiful, don't you think? With the little origami tiger. Yes, it's quite cute, isn't it? I do love tigers, and it is the year of the tiger this year in the Chinese zodiac. I myself am born in the year of the horse. Do you know yours? Oh, interesting. That's a great animal. Sure. Let's look at the back, the description together. Ken Liu is one of the most original, thought-provoking, and award-winning short story writers of his generation. This is the first collection of his work. 16 stories that evoke the magical within the mundane. By turns profound, beguiling, and heartbreaking. Included here are The Man Who Ended History, a documentary, which was the finalist for the Hugo, Nebula, and Theodore Sturgeon Awards. Mono No Aware, which was the Hugo Award winner. The Waves, which was a Nebula Award finalist. The Bookmaking Habits of Select Species, which were finalists for the Nebula and Theodore Sturgeon Award. All the Flavors, which was a Nebula Award finalist as well. The Litigation Master and the Monkey King Nebula Award finalist. And the most awarded story in the genre's history. Wow. The Paper Menagerie. The only story to ever win the Hugo, Nebula, and World Fantasy Awards. How impressive. I can understand why your book club would want to read this. Of course, you can have a little bit of an excerpt. We're not so stingy around these parts. We've got lots of school kids. Oh, sorry, did I knock into you? We have lots of school children who come in and sometimes peruse our books and they flip through it, and I just turn a blind eye as long as they're not ripping out pages and creasing the spine beyond repair. Yes, yes indeed. Let's see, let's flip to a random page. I see a lot of Chinese characters, so let's maybe take a look at that. The Literomancer, September 16, 1961. Was that the date of publication? No. It's part of the story that's setting up the timeline. Okay, let's read a little bit of this. I think it could make it or break it. For you, at least. Not for all the judges on here. Lily Dyer. What a beautiful name. Lily Dyer anticipated and also dreaded 3 o'clock in the afternoon more than any other moment of the day. That was when she returned home from school and checked the kitchen table for new mail. The table was empty, but Lily thought she'd ask anyway. Anything for me? No, Mom said from the living room. She was giving English lessons to Mr. Cotton's new Chinese bride. Mr. Cotton worked with Dad and was important. Oh, I liked her writing style, don't you? It very much signals that Lily is quite young. The fact that, oh, he worked with Dad and he was important. That's quite cute, isn't it? A full month had passed since Lily's family moved to Taiwan. Oh, interesting. And no one from Clearwell, Texas, where she had been the third most popular girl in the 4th grade, had written to her, even though all the girls promised that they would. Lily did not like her new school at the American military base. All of the other children's fathers were in the armed forces, but Dad worked in the city, in a building with the picture of Sun Yat-sen in the lobby and the red, white, and blue flag of the Republic of China flying on top. That meant Lily was strange, and the other kids did not want to sit with her at lunch. Earlier that morning, Mrs. Weil finally lectured them about their treatment of Lily. That made things worse. Lily sat at her own table, quietly eating by herself. The other girls chattered at the next table. Oh, there's a bad word in here. Oh, the Chinese whores are crafty, always hanging around the base, Susie Randling said. Susie was the prettiest girl in the class, and she always had the best gossip. I heard Jenny's mom telling my mom that as soon as one gets her hands on an American soldier, she'll use her nasty tricks to hook him. She wants him to marry her so that she can still steal all his money, and if he won't marry her, she'll make him sick. The girls broke out in laughter. When an American man rents a house for his family outside the base, you can imagine what the husband is really chasing after, Jenny added darkly, trying to impress Susie. The girls giggled, throwing looks over at Lily. Lily pretended not to hear. They are unbelievably dirty, Susie said. Mrs. Taylor was saying how when she took a car trip to Tainan during the summer, she couldn't eat any of the dishes the Chinese were serving her. One time, they tried to give her some fried frog legs. She thought it was chicken and almost ate them. Disgusting. My mom said that it's a real shame that you can't get any decent Chinese food except back in America. Sorry, I have to laugh. I'm Chinese. Jenny added. That's not true, Lily said. As soon as she spoke up, she regretted it. Lily had brought Kong, why is it? That's not a real pinyin. Kong pork balls. Kong yuan, pork balls and rice for lunch. Lin Ama, their Chinese maid, had packed the leftovers from dinner the night before. The pork balls were delicious, but the other girls wrinkled their noses at the smell. Just a little bit of an excerpt. I feel like that was quite an interesting read, wasn't it? You do like it? I see. So short stories usually aren't your cup of tea. Now that's perfectly fine, but there's always room for something new, right? It's great to try new things and new genres. Well, I myself do enjoy a fiction novel with fantasy elements and whatnot, but I do love a good short story myself. One of my favorite that made me fall in love with short stories in college was Sexy by Jhumpa Lahiri. I'm so sorry if I got her name wrong. Jhumpa Lahiri, I believe she wrote The Namesake. Yes, that film. It's a fantastic story. Hold on, let me get my laptop here so that I can ascertain that. Jhumpa Lahiri. I don't think we carry her books, but you can always check and you can always make a back order. The Interpreter of Maladies, or Maladies, really. It was a collection of 9 short stories. I believe it does include Sexy, which genuinely is one of my favorite stories. Well, so are you confirming that you want to add this to your basket? Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you liked the little excerpt that I read for you. Are you interested in picking out anything else today, or is that all you were looking for? Oh, for your niece. And what type of book does she like? Ah, Throne of Glass. That is a wonderful fantasy series. You'd think she'd like to try out another series? Of course. Well, there's quite a few. There's this one, but I'm not sure if it would fit her style of reading, if she prefers more of a young adult style. This is a bit it's a bit literary with some touches of political commentary kind of thing, I believe. It was part of BBC Radio 2's The Book Club. That must mean something. Modern Britain and age-old cruelty. Britain's magically skilled aristocracy compels all commoners to serve them for 10 years, and now it's Hadley's turn. Abby Hadley is assigned to England's most ruthless noble family. The secrets she uncovers would win her freedom or break her heart. Her brother Luke is enslaved in a brutal factory town where new friends' ideals might cost him everything. Then, while the elite vie for power, a young aristocrat plots to remake the world with his dark gifts. As Britain moves from anger to defiance, all three must take sides, and the consequences of their choices will change everything forever. Gilded Cage, not all are free. You do like the implications. And how old is your niece? I think this would be a great read for someone her age. I believe. When was this written? Yes, it is part of a trilogy. It was published in 2017. Oh, you think it would make a great read? Wow, I'll add that to your pile then. But before we move on, do you know if she's read the Lunar Chronicles? Sorry, Cinder is the first installment. If your niece prefers a bit of a romantic touch to the books that she reads, this is wonderful. It's a bit more young adult and modern compared to Gilded Cage, certainly. Let me read a little bit for you. A forbidden romance, a deadly plague, Irv's fate hinges on one girl. So, having that chosen one girl main character might be quite empowering. Same thing in Throne of Glass. I found that very empowering when I read it first in college. I think it's got a bit of a reference to Cinderella, if you can tell. This was published back in 2012, so it's a bit aged. 10 years now, almost. Oh my gosh, it is 10 years since the publishing of this, but it still makes for a great read. Cinder, a gifted mechanic in New Beijing, is also a cyborg. She's reviled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's sudden illness. But when her life becomes entwined with the handsome Prince Kai's like EXO, she finds herself at the center of a violent struggle between the desires of an evil queen and a dangerous temptation. Cinder is caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal. Now she must uncover secrets about her mysterious past in order to protect Earth's future. Interesting, right? You'd like to read it yourself even. I do love a good romance novel once in a while with touches of adventure, fantasy, science fiction even. Yes, it's certainly a very well-known series, so it'd be good to get into. You'd think she'd prefer something more recent, but you'd like to test it out anyway? That's wonderful. There you go. Well, those are my recommendations. Do you want to look at anything else? Well, let's see. This is what I've been working on recently. Well, let me be honest. It's something that I'm trying to work on recently. I haven't really gotten past the first few pages. I've been procrastinating reading this, but it's so beautiful, isn't it? Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand or Legrand. It's such a beautiful cover. Things Finley Hart doesn't want to talk about. Her parents, who are having problems, but they pretend they're not. Being sent to her grandparents' house for this summer. Never having met said grandparents. Her blue days when life feels overwhelming and it's hard to keep her head up. This happens a lot. Finley's only retreat is Everwood. Oh, that's so lovely. A forest kingdom that exists in the pages of her notebook. Until she discovers the endless forest behind her grandparents' house and realizes the Everwood is real and it's in trouble. With the help of her cousins, Finley sets out on a mission to save it. But as mysteries pile up and Finley's reality and fantasy start to collide, she realizes that if she wants to save Everwood, she'll have to save herself first. It's in first person, which is fun. And it's got very modern writing style. Short, snappy lines, bullet points. Quite refreshing. So what do you think? It's got these little flecks of gold as well, which really makes you want to just have this book for yourself. You think your niece might like this one even? Oh, you think your niece might like this one as well? Yeah? Well, you can share it, certainly. How about you give it a go and you can let her read it as well? I'll add it to your pile. I'll add it. Well, are you looking for anything else perhaps? You think this is good for you? You can always come back, of course. You saw the sign. Yes, we do have a membership program. So let me just pull it up right here. Alright, so for the low price of $20, you get to be a lifetime member with us at Cloudie Bookstore, and you get to essentially have some special member discounts. So once in a while, if you look over there, there's a table up front with member discounted books. Yes, so that ranges from bestsellers to new releases to just fan favorite books that we curate and we just put it up there for members, and we run a 10% discount on those. Yep, so you can make back your $20 pretty quickly. And we also sign you up for our special newsletter. We do a print edition yearly. Well, we're thinking of doing biannually, so every 6 months, but we're still working on that. And it basically has local writers' submissions for essays, students as well, and a lot of really interesting stuff. You know, you get Q&As from local writers, etc. And you also get to have special alerts on first come first serve events such as book signings or, you know, in-person interviews and whatnot. Yep, so we will alert the members first, and then we will alert the general public. Of course, we will allocate a big portion of that to the general public as well. We won't just let only members get in, you know, so. Does that sound interesting? Sure, I can sign you up right away. And then you can pay together later. Alright. Can I just get your name? A lovely name. Can you spell that last bit for me again? Okay. And then can I get a date of birth? We do birthday specials as well. Oh wow, you look younger. And then a good phone number for you would be... Ooh. You just moved here? It's a different number, area code for your number. And your address. Well, both email and your house address. Let's go with email first then. Okay. And then your house address to mail you the print newsletter. Oh, okay. Yep, I know that area. And the postcode should be exactly. And the city, the state, blah blah blah, country even. All right. And just so we're aware of your preferences, would you like to give us a little bit of an idea as to what genres you usually read? Yeah, fantasy. Self-help. Non-fiction sometimes. Alright, perfect. Yeah, we usually like to know what our members generally enjoy, then we can better gauge what to put up at the membership table. Yes, we're a very small local bookstore, so we definitely want to do what bigger companies can't do. Yeah, otherwise you'd go for them because, you know, they sometimes have better prices and whatnot, but we like to give a personalized touch. You like it? Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, we were founded by writers, myself included, and yeah, we just really want to kind of form a community here for books, for literature, for just, you know, stories. Yes, and we love print, of course, you know, physical, tangible books. But I understand the movement towards ebooks as well. You know, paperless, you know, very convenient. Well, if that is all, I will be emailing you your login info for our website. And you can change the password later. Yep. So no membership card or anything like that, because, you know, people always lose cards anyways. Instead, you can just come here, give us your name and your phone number, and we'll make sure that you're the right person. But usually, if it's me, I'll recognize you. I'm very good at this. But yeah, any other questions for the membership program? You're good. Okay, well, let's check you out then. So actually, the cash register over here is not properly working. So how about we move over there at the counter? All right, sure. Come with me.